This brand made over $260,000 in just 24 hours. And it's not just them, there are tons of other brands blowing up through social media. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can do exactly the same with zero upfront investment. And this is not just a get-rich-quick scheme, this is a business that you can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. In fact, the owner of the first page got invited onto the TV show Shark Tank because of how well her business was doing. She made over $3 million in her first year without spending anything on ads. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can replicate the same strategy that these brands are using to make millions for totally free. But first, we need to understand how these different pages started. What I've noticed is these brands all started with a message and an idea that they wanted to share. This is important because it then allows them to have clarity around what their audience would want to purchase from them, which by the way, we can confirm from things like polls on our stories. To give you guys an example, if we look at the page Self-Care is for Everyone, we can clearly see that their page is all about self-care and mental health. And their content is pretty simple, yet it all falls under the same theme, which then means when it comes to creating products, it is a lot easier to create products that relate to their audience. As we can see, if we take a look at their site, the products that they sell are all aligned with their audience. And later in the video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own clothing for free without having to spend any money up front. However, if we come back and take a look at this page again, we can see that their social media strategy to gain these organic followers and organic customers is pretty simple yet effective. You see, they're creating simple designs all about well-being and mental health, and they're also creating some simple reels all around mental health and well-being once again. And why are these doing so well for them? It is simply because their content is super helpful and relatable, which causes people to engage and share, which is very important when it comes to going viral and growing on Instagram. In fact, I know this personally from my page Millionaire Aesthetic, as when I create posts targeted to boost shares on the post, they tend to go viral pretty much every single time. And even the CEO of Instagram has confirmed this himself.
So is that the most important factor then when it comes to reach, shares per impressions?
On average, yeah.
Now, you don't need to do this in the self-love or mental health niche. There are tons of other niches you can do this in, such as mindset, such as motivation, such as the gym, such as cooking, to name a few. Now, as far as how we can go ahead and do this for ourselves for totally free, first, you're going to want to go ahead and create a name for your page and your brand. This should be something that relates to your audience, and you can use sites such as ChatGPT to help you come up with these names. Simply say to ChatGPT, create me 10 different names for my brand or Instagram page in this niche. And then from here, I would keep doing this until you get one that you like, or until you have enough inspiration from a bunch of different names to create one for yourself that you do like. Once you've done this, you want to check if this name is available, and you can do this by going to a website called Emails Verified. Once we have our name, we need to go ahead and get to posting on our page. However, before we do this, we need to go ahead and make sure that we have an aesthetic that we want to stay consistent with for our page. For example, when I scroll on my Instagram theme page, it has a pretty dark aesthetic and theme, and you can tell that everything is about luxury and money. Then if we go back and take a look at Self-Care for Everyone, we can clearly see that their aesthetic is more light themed and has a cartoony kind of vibe. As another example, in the motivation niche, take a look at this page Mentality, where they also have a very minimalistic and dark theme. Now, when it comes to creating these posts, there are honestly so many different methods and ways that we can do to create them depending on our niche. However, one thing that is pretty consistent across all of these brands is they tend to do pretty branded posts and carousels on their Instagram. To do this, I would recommend using Canva, as it is free and very beginner friendly. However, if you already do have experience in something like Photoshop, then feel free to go ahead and use that. Later in this video, I'm going to give you a full breakdown of how I made this post that got over 124,000 likes and over 1.5 million accounts reached. I actually saw this post do pretty well on another motivational quotes kind of page, and this just goes back to my point of looking at our competition and taking inspiration from them, as in reality everyone takes inspiration from everyone. This is something that is totally normal and something that some of the biggest companies in the world are doing. Take for example Instagram and Snapchat. Instagram copied Snapchat's story feature when they saw Snapchat having success with stories. Next, I went into Canva and I made a new post in these dimensions, as these are the best dimensions for making posts with on Instagram, as it fills up more of the screen. And then once inside of a designer in Canva, I simply picked a very simplistic font that went with my page. I selected a black background, as once again my page is very minimalistic and I wanted colors that went with my logo, which are black and white. I tapped up my quote, put it on the middle of the post, and then I also put in my logo at the bottom to add a bit of branding. However, when I put my logo in, I did turn the opacity down a little bit so that the logo wasn't sticking out in your face. This post literally took me less than 10 minutes to make, and it got me over 1.5 million views. Now, as far as for reels, I would recommend you use CapCut for the same reasons I recommended Canva. And I also have a bunch of tutorials on my channel about how to edit many different types of videos using CapCut that you guys can go ahead and use for totally free. Here is an example of a reel that got me over 12 million views, and I made it simply using ElevenLabs to generate the AI voice. I actually created a script from a post that had gone viral previously, so I saw this post go viral for somebody else. I took that story and made it into a reel, and then I went ahead, put some background music on it, put some b-roll in the background that related to what the story was portraying, and that was pretty much it. Like I said before, we don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to going viral on social media. I'll leave a link to my playlist full of tutorials in the description, as well as all of the sites that I do talk about in this video, so after watching this video, you guys can go and get started straight away. Now, the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is create our clothing or product to sell. And to do this, we're we're going to be using something called Print on Demand. Print on Demand is a service where we only go ahead and pay for the product after our customer has purchased that product. And this just means that we don't need to risk spending thousands up front on stock that we are not even sure is going to sell yet. And to do this, I'm going to be using a site called Printify, which we can start with for totally free, and I'll leave it linked in the description. Once you have made your free account in Printify, you'll be in the Printify dashboard. From there, you can go and click on the catalog to see everything that you can create with Printify. They allow you to create tons of different things, from phone cases and candles to hoodies and t-shirts. Pretty much anything that you'd want to create, Printify have. As an example, I'm going to go ahead and create a hoodie, and I'm going to select the heavy blend hoodie as it is a bestseller and I believe that it will be extremely high quality, and I prefer quality over quantity. I'm actually going to order one of these hoodies and wear it in a future video on my channel so you guys can see the quality of it, and I might even try selling it on my page to show you guys that this actually does work. So be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. I'm going to make my hoodie in a very minimalistic way as that is what I like to wear. So I'll just stick my Millionaire Aesthetic logo on one of the sleeves. Then you can go ahead and press preview to see what it would look like and even get some mock-ups that we can use on our store. Next, we're going to go ahead and press save product. Now we can edit our product title and description, and then we need to go ahead and connect it to our store so that we can start selling. With Printify, we can now sell to pretty much anywhere, including Amazon, TikTok Shop, Etsy, and Shopify. And once I've done this, we can come over to Shopify, find our store, select our theme, and we'll be able to import our hoodie into Shopify. And now we've created a store that we can start selling on straight away and generating a profit. Now we need to start promoting our product on our Instagram page. However, like I mentioned before, we don't want to force it down our followers' throats. We need to do it in a way which doesn't even really seem like we are selling. Take Mentality, for example. If we come and have a look at their page, we can see that they clearly take aesthetic photos of their shirts which motivate people, and they use them as posts on their page. This way your followers are getting good content that they're going to be engaged with. However, at the same time, they're getting exposure to your product. And another thing that I'll try to implement, especially at the start, is doing drops. This is where you're going to tease something for a while through your posts to get people excited, and then you're going to go ahead and set a launch date, which is going to create urgency as people want to buy it on that launch date, as if not, they might miss out and might not be able to get that product ever again. This is a strategy that some of the biggest brands in the world are using, and is the same way that the brand I talked about right at the beginning, See the Way I See, generated over $3 million in their first year. However, this didn't happen overnight, and as I always say, if you're going to have success with this, you need to have consistency and patience. Business isn't as easy as some people make it out to be, but as long as you are trying and learning, then in the end, you're going to win. If you guys want to see me start a business like this and document it step by step on this YouTube channel, a bit like I did with my TikTok series, then comment the word brand and subscribe to make sure you don't miss it when I do it. And if you guys did find this video valuable, be sure to check out my free Discord, which will also be linked in the description, as I am sure you're going to find even more value inside of there. Apart from that, I hope you all did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.